If you can't lift your arm above the shoulder level, or it's very painful to do it, you may be suffering from Shoulder Impingement Syndrome. Impingement means to impair or block. So something is blocking your arm at this point from going up over your head. This is painful, this is difficult, and this is something you want to get over. So I'm going to show you some exercises and some methods that might help you out. The first reason this might be a problem is the movements of the shoulder blades. Now the shoulder blade isn't just right in the middle. The shoulder blade, the end of it, goes right over the top of the upper arm bone, and if it doesn't move, it blocks the arm from going up. So you have to move the shoulder blade to the outside and up to be able to move the arm up. Now there's muscles right between the shoulder blade and the ribs, and they stabilize the shoulder blades to stabilize the arms. But if these muscles don't let go, then you're not going to be able to move your shoulder blade so that you can move your arm. Now this is a difficult problem, but the exercises are easy to perform and easy to do. You just have to move your shoulder and you move your shoulder blade. Maybe this will help you out. The second problem could be with the muscles of the shoulder. Now, a muscle is attached between two bones. The muscle shortens. Let's look at it here. The muscle shortens and moves one of the bones. Now, if the muscle doesn't release, then you're not going to be able to move this bone. The movement is going to be restricted. The movement is going to be impeded. So you're going to have to stretch the muscles long again. This is not a big problem because the muscles are very flexible and they react well to stretching. The problem is that after you've stretched a muscle one time, it goes back together again. So you have to keep stretching this muscle at regular intervals, like every day, until you get the full and functional length of the muscle again. Let's look at this. Start with the latissimus. That's your biggest shoulder muscle. It goes all the way from your upper arm right down to your hip. Now this muscle pulls your arm down and onto the body. If it's too short, if it needs to be stretched, you're not going to be able to stretch the arm up to the ceiling. What about the chest muscle? Well, the chest muscle allows you to move the arm up, to move the arm to the middle, and the upper part here allows you to take the arm down. Now, if the upper part is too short, if the upper part is constricted, you're going to have trouble taking the arm up. Now, here's an important one. Between the shoulder and the neck is the trapezius. You pull trapezius together and it lifts your arm up to the shoulder level. But at this point, it pulls the collarbone right into the joint and it makes this position very stable. if you don't release the muscle, you can't break the frame and you won't be able to lift the shoulder up. You won't be able to lift the arm up above the shoulder level. What about the arms? The muscles of the upper arm are in the back, triceps. So, triceps stretch the arm, like here to the back. But if it's shortened and doesn't stretch at this position, you're going to have trouble lifting your arm up. The biceps, that's on the inside of your arm, the front side. Now, the biceps go all the way up over the shoulder and onto your chest. Now, if this is too short, you're also going to have trouble in the shoulder. You're also going to have trouble lifting that arm all the way up. But stretching the muscles is not a big problem. The muscles are flexible and they react well to stretching. So if you stretch these muscles every day, the problem is going to go away. Now the third problem. This is really a problem. At the end of the muscle, connecting the muscle to the bone is your tendon. Now the tendons are very stable and very inflexible. At the end of the muscle, where it connects to the tendon, is the tendon spindle. Now this pulls together to protect the muscle when there's too much tension, when it's pulled too hard, when you rip your arm to the back. The spindle's going to pull together and shorten the tendon. Now, if this spindle stays tightened up, it's going to shorten the tendon and it's going to restrict your movement. This is not easy, but it's not impossible. You have to use a little trick to convince the spindle that everything's okay. So you find the tendon and you run your fingers right over across the tendon. In German, this is called Querfriction. So let's call it in English cross friction or transversal friction. You find the tendon either with your fingertips or with your thumb, and you just run back and forth across this until the tendon jumps under your fingers. This takes a long time, so be patient. But a little bit over a long time can go a long way. But let's look at this. It's basically the same problem you have with the muscles. The tendon here, the latissimus, is actually the back half of your armpit. And if I can't stretch the back half of my armpit, it's over. The chest muscle, well, that's basically the front armpit, and if it's all tightened up here, this is going to be a problem. If my tendon's shortened up here, I'm going to end up with my shoulder lifted up and just try to lift up your arm then. The same thing with the biceps and the triceps. Both of these tendons run right over the joint, right over the shoulder joint. And if you have problems in these tendons, you're going to have trouble in your shoulder, and you're going to have trouble raising your arm up. The problem with the shoulder blades, it's not just in the middle here. It goes all the way to the end of the shoulder and fits over the shoulder bone like a lid. Now, if you don't move this lid, you can't get your arm up or above shoulder height. So they have to turn out and go up. This lifts the lid and allows your arm to go up to the ceiling. There are 3 movements you need to get this rotation in the shoulder blades. One is up and down. The other is front and back. And now the third one's a little bit difficult. It's in to the middle. So it's like this. Here's your shoulder blades, and you have to move the one shoulder blade in to the other shoulder blade. Let's start with moving to the front and back. Put your hand on your hip and bend your arm. Now, take your shoulder up as far as you can and down as far as you can. You breathe in and you breathe out. To the front and back. You shove your shoulder all the way to the front. You take your chest over a bit. And you take your elbow as far to the back as possible. And for moving in, you have your arm up and you push your shoulder over to the middle and out as far as you can get it. Let's start with 10 repetitions of up and down with the right arm. Breathe in and now you don't move your chest, you just move your shoulder blade. Don't move the movements fast. Move with your breath. Breathe in and out. Now let's do the left side. Raise up your chest. Take your shoulders down, and now up and down. Stay a little bit at the end. Okay, now let's do both of them. Now your chest moves a little bit in opposition here. The shoulder goes up, your chest goes down. Your shoulders go down, your chest goes up. Always make a full movement, as much in one direction and as much in the other direction. Now let's do the movement of the shoulder blade to the front and back. Push your shoulder blade to the front and pull it to the back, and let your chest go a bit with the movement to increase the movement. Now switch to the left arm. As far to the front, as far to the back. Let your chest move with it to make the movement as big as possible. Now take both of your arms and both of the shoulder blades. Your chest goes with it. Move your chest to the back and the arms to the front. The arms to the front, the chest to the back. Okay, let's relax a bit. And now, do the movement to the middle. So stabilize the left side, take the right elbow up, and now push it as far in as possible and as far out. And now the left elbow. Feel the shoulder blade sliding to the inside and the outside. Okay, both arms. This is really difficult, but you'll get it. And the thing is, when you push both of the shoulder blades together at one time, your chest is going to go to the front. So, to intensify, push your chest to the front when you pull the shoulder blades together. Shoulders down. Push the chest to the front. And stretch out your back. You should have to stretch out your back after pulling everything together. Okay, now the shoulder blades move in a round path, just like the ribs are round. So we're going to do this round path by rotating the arms out. Get them all the way over here. Take them down and take the chest up. Have a look from the back. Okay, one more time. Now I'm sweating. Make it intense. It's your shoulder, it's your shoulder blades, and it's your recovery. So do it like you mean it. Now you have two things you can think of here. Pushing your elbows to the front and pushing your thumbs to the back. Concentrate particularly on pushing those elbows under. That really pulls the shoulder blades down. Here they go up and over. And then you pull them down. Okay. Now we're going to do the actual rotation that you need. You take your hands to the front, and the hands are actually where your shoulder blades are in the back. So you take them down and in for strength, and then you take them up and over for mobility. You made your back wide, and you make your back narrow. You pull the shoulder blades apart and pull them together. Now, you don't have to do all of the sets. I'm doing 3 sets. First with one arm, the other arm, and both arms. Now I'm doing 3 sets of this last exercise. So come on, let's do it. The stretching exercises will relax you. Get them down and in, up and over. Okay, so I'm going to show you now from the back. I don't know, I haven't seen it, if it's going to make a difference, but look for wrinkles. When I go up and out, the shirt straightens out. When they go in and down, they pull together. Now I've lost my light, but you'll figure it out. So, the shoulder blade mobility. To move the muscles that are attached between two bones, shorten and move the bone, and then they relax and let go. Often, it does not shorten completely, and after weeks or months or a really hard workout, the muscle gets really tight. The muscle gets short. So we need to stretch the muscles out. First muscle, the latissimus. Now it's attached here to the upper arm and to the hip. So one of the main movements is to pull the arm to the back. And logically, we have to take the arm over, pull the arm long, and here's a little trick. You take your body to the back. Now hold this stretch for about 10 or 15 seconds. Just relax. Let the muscle get heavy each time you breathe out. And then release. Let's take the other side. The arm over. Pull it long as you can, and then stretch from the other side. Now you can repeat this several times, and actually doing it one time is not enough. So take the arm down and over, pull the arm really long, and then go away. And just hang. And just breathe. And just relax and let go. It's important that you don't just jump into the stretch. You have to first find the first distance, and then you stretch further. Now if you stay in this position, the tension will let go every time you breathe out. And when you feel the tension is gone, then come out and go on to the next stretch. Another stretch for the latissimus, because it takes the elbow down, let's be logical and take the elbow up. This is the same stretch as for the tricep. So you take your hand, put it down here, and you pull on the elbow, and for a stretch in the latissimus, you take your upper body over. Just let it get long. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry. And now, the right arm, pull it in, and go over. Push the elbow up, and also push the hip out. Now the thing with stretching is, if you feel a stretch, you have a stretch. If you don't feel a stretch, you're wasting your time. Okay, so the shoulder, you have basically three parts. The front part, the middle part, and the back part. It has Latin names, but it's not important. So the front part takes the arm to the front, and the back part takes the arm to the back, and the middle part takes the arm up. So we're going to stretch first the back part. Take your right elbow up, take your elbow over, pull it long, and then look down at your foot. Press your back to the back. Just breathe and relax. And now the left side. Elbow over, pull it long, find your position for the stretch, stay in the position, breathe the tension out, 10 or 15 seconds. Okay, one more time. Yes. Now look it from the side. Pulling here over, pulling it down. My shoulder goes over to the front. And from the other side, here it is, take it over and take your elbow down. Okay, to stretch the front part, look at it logically. I take the arm to the back. Take my arm through, pull it right onto the small of my back, and then I shove my chest to the front. So here, my shoulder stays, my chest goes to the front, and I have a stretch in the front of my shoulder. Lift up the chest, stretch it out. Let's look at it from the back. Take your arm through, pull it on, press it up, raise your chest, sit in the stretch, breathe in the stretch and relax. Alright, let's do it one more time. Right shoulder here. That always stretches your chest muscle as well. So take it through. Push up your chest. Pull the arm through right on the back. One more time. The left shoulder. Pull it as far through as you can. Push it up against your back. You've got to block the shoulder and shove the chest. Alright, the last stretch for the biceps. This is hard, but I'm going to show you anyway. Normally you don't have to stretch the biceps. This is important because the biceps does this, so you've got to turn it out. Take the arms to the back, stretch it out. Your arms are up as high as possible, and you got your chest stretched out. You got to get the biceps to the back of the shoulders. You could also do this on a table. The thing is, you have to get your bicep pushed to the front. It's the same thing I'm doing, but you're using a table. Okay, one more time. Show you from the back. Take the arms up, turn, take your fingertips up as well. So here's an interesting point. The training for the one muscle is to stretch for the other. My training for the tricep is going to be this. My stretch for the biceps is exactly the same thing, except you got to pull up the fingertips. So go through the stretches one time a day. It makes no sense to stretch once a week for a half an hour. Do it every day, 5 minutes, and you'll make gains every day. Every day you stretch, you will lengthen the muscles. Every time you don't stretch, they will shorten again. Now it's time to look for those tendons for cross friction. So I'm starting with the chest muscle, and the tendon here is basically the front of the armpit. There it is. The fingers jump over the tendon. Now let's look up here, trapezius. It's going to be right up at the base. There it is. And you run the fingers across it. It jumps and you know you're on the tendon. Alright, the biceps. Now the biceps, it's sort of on the inside, right by the chest muscle. So I've got my thumb in there. It's pretty easy to find. And there it is. When it jumps, you're on it. Let's look again at the trapezius. There it is at the base, and you go back and forth and back and forth. Now the latissimus is basically the back of the armpit. So you've got to hunt around a bit, get the fingers on it. There it is. You're jumping back and forth. You've got the tendon. Now the triceps, that's kind of difficult because it's sort of under the shoulder muscle. I'm right on the side here. No, that's just the shoulder muscle. So you got to keep looking. Ah, here it is at the back. So I get my fingers in there, and when you jump over it, you've got the tendon. impingement. That's no fun. You know that. You can't reach up into the cupboard and get a glass. You can't reach up into the store to get that favorite product of you. And even if you do, it really hurts. So try these exercises. Just go through them, learn them, and apply them every day. You don't have to do this for a long time. You don't need a whole hour. You need maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15. But this is going to be a good 15 minutes invested in your health. I can show you the exercises, but I can't do them for you. You have to do the work so that you can get better.
Body movements. Move better. Feel better. Live better. See you soon.